Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see everybody here today. And firstly, happy International Women's Day. I don't know whether it's already been said today. And a shout out to the women from the Port of Tyne who are here, but also keeping the wheels moving about 8 miles to the east of here. And everybody in the maritime industry as well. So it's great to be presenting here. And I was thinking about this when I was walking down the Tyne earlier. It's really relevant that the conference is on the Tyne. In the I think it was 1700s, the Northeast and the river and the region played a massive part in starting the Industrial Revolution. Whether that was building and designing the railways, building and designing steam engines and the ships, or even the coal business, coal in a time when people didn't know any better. In fact, I was talking to John Howie, I don't know where John is. The last time we presented together was on the very last ship built on the Tyne about 3 years ago, the HMS Lyme Bay in the Thames. So for me, it feels like full circle because we're at the start of the second industrial revolution, the clean industrial revolution. And the region, the Northeast and the Tyne and this local area are having a massive impact on that. Not just, you heard from the offshore renewable catapult, but also there's other businesses like Nissan, who are leading the electric car, the EV revolution. In fact, they launched their Leaf probably over 10 years ago now, and still really leading the charge in that respect. Whether it's in digital with the National Data Center just up the road, the gigafactories that have been announced in the region, both Envision and British Volt, to kind of fuel that industry. But also some of the things that we're going to talk to you about at the Port of Tyne and in offshore as well. And the Port of Tyne will be the base for the world's biggest offshore wind farm, Dogger Bank. So for me, it feels like it's come full circle to be on the banks of the Tyne presenting to you today. I know I've presented to quite a few of you before, looking around. So apologies in advance, but I thought by way of an introduction, I'd give you a few snippets about what the Port of Tyne is all about. So we're located about 8 miles to the east down the Tyne. We cover 650 acres, so everything that you see there in the blue boundary is us, north and south of the river. We're a trust port and we support about 12,000 jobs. The majority of those are industrial jobs, but we also support tourism jobs as well through the cruise and ferries terminal that we have. We've got really good connectivity. I always feel a bit embarrassed by saying that because every port must say that, but I do think the Port of Tyne is pretty unique in connectivity. We're on the doorstep of connections north to south and east to west on roads with the A1 and the A69. We've got 4 of our own rail lines that go into the East Coast Main Line, which is less than a mile away. And those rail lines are connected to our bulk terminal, some of our free land and the container terminal too. The region has a metro. You've probably used it this morning. We have our own metro station, Tyne Dock Metro Station, which is on the south side of our estate. Brings you direct to Gateshead, straight into Newcastle and to Newcastle Airport, which is one of the best connected airports in the UK. I think it's got about 80 destinations, transatlantic, Middle Eastern, and everywhere in between, especially in Europe. We're one of only few deep sea ports in the northeast. We go down to 13.5 meters, which means that we can take the majority of the big ships in the world. We launched the Tyne Clean Energy Park. I'll talk a bit about that to you in a while. We've got the first and still the only UK maritime innovation hub on the port, which we're really proud of. But we're quite a diverse business. So we have a bulks business, we have a renewables business, we've got offshore with Equinor, with Dogger Bank now. We've got automotive with Nissan, VW, Audi, cruise and ferry facility, estates, but also we've got a container facility as well. That takes about 100,000 TUE, and we're looking to double that at the moment. And actually, we've just put it onto the rail lines for the first time in 18 years. So it's a real diverse business. No presentation is a good presentation without some key facts. We're the second biggest car exporter in the UK, predominantly because Nissan is on our doorstep. 1 in every 8 light bulbs in the UK is powered by feedstock that comes across the quayside at the Port of Tyne. We will be the base for the world's biggest wind farm, Dogger Bank. That's being built now. For those of you who are going to tour the facility, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it, Charlotte? For those of you who are touring the facility, you'll see the Equinor's new base there. It's looking fantastic. We have 40% of the UK's tea come through us, so we're probably responsible for the cuppa that you've just had, with a regional centre for cruise and ferries, and we've got the UK's first maritime innovation hub. But the port's been changing. Over the past 2 or 3 years, the port's really changed. We were a traditional coal port a number of years ago. We made the decision when I started 3 years ago to get rid of all the coal that we had on the port, because we wanted to play a part in the green revolution and helping industries thrive in this new industry, this new industrial revolution that's taking place at the moment. So we launched Tyne 2050, which is our strategy for change and our vision for the future, and it's really a strategy that's parallel to Maritime 2050. In fact, Maritime 2050 was probably a bit of a cheat sheet for us. So we've set ourselves some real heady targets, 26 targets. I've only listed a few up there, but we want to be carbon neutral by 2030. Reality is we'll probably, as a port, as an individual port, I'm not talking about shipping that comes into the port, but as a port, we'll manage that by probably 2027. We want to double diversity by 2030, be an all-electric port by 2040, zero harm, and we want to be a test bed for clean energy. We want to be different when we started that journey a couple of years ago. The reason that we made these targets public, we didn't have to make them public, is twofold really. One, we want to be judged on the things that we're committing to, so we wanted to make it public to keep us focused. And secondly, like in any business, if you take that step forward, it forces the industry to follow. And that's what we want to do. We want to lead the charge. It's not about competitive advantage for us. We want to share the findings that we have at the Port of Tyne and make sure that Maritime develops with us as well. So for those of you I've presented to before, you might see that the slides look and feel slightly different, and the reason for that is that they are. This morning we rebranded, we launched our rebrand. So actually you'll see the brand there looks slightly different, but it's less about the brand, it's more about representing how far we've come in 2 years, but the fact that we don't want to stop, we want to continue to develop and push the boundaries, whether that's in innovation or collaboration. So we've got a video to show you. It's the rebranding video, but it talks about Tyne 2050, so I thought it might be interesting to see that and some of the targets that we have for the future.
The River Tyne and the Port of Tyne have been the engine for change for hundreds of years, allowing the exchange of critical goods, providing food, energy, manufacturing and services. Its global reach and reputation has enabled the region to build and prosper. But the world we operate in is constantly evolving and changing. Our port recognises the need to help lead that change. New global challenges and opportunities mean as one of the UK's major trust ports, we're more vital in the economic and cultural prosperity of the region than ever before. And we're committed to that cause.
The Port of Tyne is changing. In 2019, we launched Tyne 2050, our strategy for change and our vision for the future. And since that time, we've been working tirelessly to deliver those intentionally ambitious targets like becoming zero harm, being a carbon neutral port by 2030, doubling diversity by 2030, having 5G for this amazing port, and delivering more ambitious programs through the Innovation Hub.
Driven by our intentionally ambitious vision, we're pioneering a more sustainable future with industry-leading initiatives like the UK Maritime Innovation Hub, producing data strategies, port-wide 5G, hackathons, and the launch of our 200-acre Tyne Clean Energy Park, a place for large-scale businesses to take advantage of our deep-sea quayside. promoting the green agenda and leading the way towards sustainability and a carbon-neutral digitised economy. The Port of Tyne is leading the change.
The Port of Tyne really represents the northeast of England. It's right at the heart of the community and it's our gateway to the world. And it's going to be the home for Dogger Bank's operations and maintenance base that we're building right behind me here. The port will be the centre of sustainability in the region. It's going to be the home of the world's largest offshore wind farm. It's going to be accessible and it's going to be a place that brings people together to help develop the skills for the future in the region.
The rebrand really is a small part of that transition, but a very important part of the transition. It signifies that we're not just a port for today, we're a port for the future.
Because we're no ordinary port. And this is no ordinary river. Welcome to the Tyne, transformed.
So that probably says it better than I do in a proper Geordie accent as well. That was launched this morning, and I think there's two common themes to that. One is the first response I got from that video was an old Rolls-Royce colleague, I know Rolls-Royce are here today, who said I look really cold. One thing that we're not short of is cold wind at the Port of Tyne, which is probably why we've got the wind farm. And the second thing is about the line, the squiggly line, but actually it's a great debating point. People don't really know what it is, but that is the River Tyne. We're a catalyst for economic prosperity down the Tyne, so it was really important that we included that. So if you go on LinkedIn, like that, and the more people that like it, the more people see it. So that's talking about tomorrow and some of the targets that we've got for business in the future. But actually, we're doing a lot now already. For the last 2 years, we've been working tirelessly to achieve some of those targets. Each one of those targets has its own project team and goals. But we've already done a lot. So the Maritime Innovation Hub was launched in 2019. And since then, we've collaborated with over 3,000 people, nearly 400 businesses from countries all around the world, and we collaborate and share innovation and ideas on things like safety and environment and smart ports and technology, etc. The Maritime Innovation Hub isn't a Port of Tyne asset. We see that as an asset for the whole of Maritime, and we're really proud of the work that we do there. But we also do have our own projects that we take through there. So we've got our own AI and autonomous projects. We're going to be announcing them in a few weeks' time, which will be fantastic for us. We are also working on a maritime data strategy with the National Data Centre, which is just up the road from here. Really lucky to have them on our doorstep. And we've got a green port demonstrator that we're working with Siemens on as well. So we're working, that's just a few things that we do. We've got a whole host of things that we're working on. We're also trying to improve supply chains as well, especially through the Innovation Hub. Firstly, we're partnering with a number of organisations, certainly the 4 universities local to us, so Northumbria, Newcastle, Durham and Sunderland, and some of the further education colleges. And we're working with them to try and develop people today for tomorrow's business. And, we're not short of people in this region, and, it's about upskilling people to attract the right businesses here. We're also looking at ways of how we retrain people who already have engineering skills to be fit for the future. We're the only UK port to be on the Connected Ports Organisation, which is a collection of ports around the world, some really good ports actually. So there's a Port of LA, Port of Hamburg, ports of Rotterdam, ourselves, a number of ports that share non-sensitive data to see if we can do things better and try and figure stuff out, whether that's cost or or speed to market or the environment. And we're wanting to lead that this year as well and really set that alight and get some impetus behind it. We're also looking to develop a cluster in the region. One thing the region's not short of is some fantastic businesses. You heard from the offshore renewable catapult. Here on the Tyne, we've got A&P, who I think are a sponsor today. We've got Smulders, we've got Shepherds, we've got Technip, GE, Siemens, ourselves. There's businesses in Sunderland and around Blythe as well. We can be a real force to be reckoned with in terms of moving this clean energy agenda forward. And we were on the Smart Ports Advisory Group, both myself and Dr. Joe North, who runs the Innovation Hub. We're on the Smart Ports Advisory Group as well. One thing that's really important to us is to collaborate. We wanted to be recognized for collaboration. I think if you talk to any other port, and probably a lot of the businesses in the UK, they'll probably tell you that through the Innovation Hub, it's never felt so collaborative with the Port of Tyne, and we're really proud of that. And actually, one of our first milestones we reached last year, we're the only UK port to have ISO 44001, which is the kite mark of collaboration. And we're wanting to take that journey with every single one of our major customers now. And that's been fantastic for us, because not only has it helped us deliver a better service and be better partners for our customers, it's helped us get more efficient and more effective in the way that we deliver our business too. We're going to have 5G right across the whole port estate and also across the Tyne Clean Energy Park by the end of summer. So that's a massive investment for us at the moment. And we launched the Tyne Clean Energy Park. So the Tyne Clean Energy Park is 200 acres of developable land right next to some of the deepest quayside in the northeast. I mean, we're one of only 3 deep sea ports in the whole of the northeast and through Scotland. There's us, there's PD ports in Teesside, and then there's Nig. And this kind of land will be a premium, especially for offshore wind as vessels get bigger, as stuff gets bigger. So to have 200 acres in one of the most diverse ports in the UK, next to some of the deepest quaysides, is really, really unique. We don't have any length or beam or height restrictions for any of the offshore vessels that are currently operating today or currently designed. The Enterprise Park, we have 2 Enterprise Parks, one in the north, one in the south as part of Tyne Clean Energy Park. There's a whole host of businesses that can use Tyne Clean Energy Park. And like I say, it's going to be 5G enabled this year. We're already doing key upgrades. The councils that we work with in this region are fantastic as well. So there's grants and there's funding and there's fast planning available for that stuff. And we've been remediating that land. Actually, some of that land, we don't even have a customer, but we see the worth of this land to enable green energy to take the next step forward. So that's available right now, and if anybody wants to hear more about that, please talk to the team on the Port of Tyne stand downstairs. So last slide for me. There's lots of ports around the UK, and they all do a fantastic job. But we want to be different. We want to be really progressive. We want to push the boundaries of what ports can do and actually share that knowledge with the rest of Maritime. We're not trying to use this as a USP. We really do want Maritime to take a step forward. That's why we made our strategy open for everybody. And other ports have copied that, and that's great. That's what we want. We want to add value. We want to take that journey with our customers and other ports and the government as well on how we decarbonise this next industrial revolution. And we do feel that we're leading the charge, especially through the Innovation Hub in things like data, innovation, but also some of the green projects that we have at the moment. I think the one final thing I would say is there's a lot said about the different kinds of ports, but we're a trust port. And that means that we can do things that are right for business and not needing to worry about dividend all the time. It's not to say that we're not worried about making a profit, because everything that we make goes back into the infrastructure to help move Maritime forward. but it means that we can do things that are right for business. And for us to attract businesses to the Tyne Clean Energy Park and to be a catalyst for economic and social prosperity is really, really close to our hearts. And it's something that the board pick up on every single time that we have a board meeting. It's really important to us. So that's all I'll say about the Port of Tyne. Like I say, please like the new brand. Don't tell anybody what the squiggly line is, because that means they'll ask, and then we can explain what it means. If you want to know more about us, if you want to know more about Tyne Clean Energy Park or anything that we're doing in the Innovation Hub, come and talk to the team here or me after. Thank you very much.